You're watching News 12 Westchester, serving Westchester and the Hudson Valley.
Tonight on News 12, the Yonkers police investigating after 3 armed men break into the new Lord & Taylor store at Ridge Hill.
Yeah, but first, another record tampering scandal at Peekskill High School expands. This time, a department head is removed from school for possibly changing grades on Regents exams. Hello, I'm Scott McGee.
And I'm Janine Rose. We first told you about the Peekskill High School records scandal last month when 4 counselors were accused of creating phony grades on some student records. News 12's John Goff has more on the growing problem.
For the second time in a month, there are claims false information may have been included in student records at Peekskill High School. There are now allegations against the head of the school's social studies department involving Regents exams. Those allegations have been leveled against this woman, Allison Rizzoli, who in 2008 recorded this YouTube interview with a student about the importance of voting.
Well, it's the most important thing you can do as an American citizen.
School district officials would only tell News 12 that Rizzoli was placed on administrative leave last week, but would not give details of why, saying it was a personnel matter. However, sources who asked not to be identified tell us it's alleged Rizzoli may have changed students' Regents exam scores. A school district spokesperson, though, tells us actions against Rizzoli are not connected to the removal of 4 school counselors last month for allegedly creating phantom classes for students to help them graduate. One of the people we came across was former Peekskill Mayor Vincent Vesey, who says the 2 sets of allegations are not what the school or the city need.
If something like this is true, it certainly would put a black eye on the school system and by association the city.
School district officials have said that most of the students whose records were changed will not suffer as a consequence. But some of the students we've spoken with say what happened is still unfair.
There's all of us other students are, we come to school and do our thing, trying to get this, we're struggling. Meanwhile, there's other students are not really into school doing their work, but they get the grade easily.
But while the 2 cases may not be directly related, the question now is, are there any other questionable entries in students' records still to be uncovered? In Peekskill, John Goff, News 12.
Well, just last month, the Peekskill school superintendent sent a letter to parents basically saying the findings of their investigations will be turned over to the Westchester County District Attorney to determine if any criminal charges need to be filed.
Well, our final farewell today for a New Rochelle woman who died after allegedly having a late-term abortion. Family and friends said goodbye to 29-year-old Jennifer Morbelli at the Holy Name of Jesus Church in New Rochelle this morning. According to published reports, the mother-to-be was 8 months pregnant when she died after complications from a late-term abortion. Procedure legal in Maryland, but not in New York. The state medical examiner's office in Maryland is investigating to see if there was any negligence on the doctor's behalf. But the sudden death has some local doctors questioning what went wrong. News 12's Lisa Reyes has that story.
There's definitely an air of mystery here. There's something more going on.
As Maryland state authorities examine Jennifer Morbelli's cause of death, the controversial practice of late-term abortion has even local physicians pondering what could have gone wrong. Mount Kisco family physician Dr. Michael Wall did not treat 29-year-old Morbelli, but says while the risk of death is rare, they do become higher depending on the mother's health history.
It's pretty rare. Overall complications, as I've mentioned, are less than 0.05%, and those are all complications. So death actually occurring is far less than that.
Morbelli, a substitute teacher from New Rochelle, died last Thursday after reports say she underwent the procedure in Maryland, where late-term abortions are legal. It was performed by Dr. Leroy Carhart, one of the few late-term abortion providers in the country. The first-time mom, who was 8 months along, was mourned Wednesday morning in her hometown. Reports say she learned the baby girl, to be named Madison Lee, had significant abnormalities. Walt questions why those alleged defects were never found earlier in her pregnancy.
For this woman to have chosen an abortion that late suggests that there were significant birth defects.
Some national pro-life organizations like Kansas-based Operation Rescue blame Morbelli's death on doctor error. They say they're weighing their options and looking into the possibility of filing a legal complaint. Spokesperson Cheryl Sullinger tells us by phone, quote, "We think it's time someone took a serious, hard look at his abortion practice to make sure he doesn't kill again." Carhart has not been charged. Maryland authorities say it is routine to investigate any death after a medical procedure. Lisa Reyes, News 12.
Jennifer Morbelli was 33 weeks pregnant at the time. Her baby girl was due March 20th.
Well, the Kennedys are back in the news tonight. Now it's a father and son from Westchester under arrest. Yes, the Kennedys. Environmental activist Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his 18-year-old son Connor were both arrested after they tied themselves to the White House gate to protest the Keystone Pipeline. Actress Daryl Hannah was also cuffed and taken away for civil disobedience. The protesters apparently fear that climate change and global warming are demanding that President Obama reject the $7 billion pipeline, which would carry oil from Canada to Texas.
And meteorologist Joe Rayo in the Weather Center tonight with the forecast. Joe.
And we've got a little bit of snow to talk about, Scott, and we're thinking that it'll be concentrated mainly in the evening hours tonight. First of all, let's talk about our high temperatures. Here's your hyperlocal map. Most areas got into the lower 40s. Yonkers 44, White Plains, Mahopac at 41, 40 along the Sound Shore at Rye. That snow tonight, mainly before midnight, and producing light accumulations, maybe anywhere from a coating to an inch. When you get up tomorrow morning, it'll all be gone. Well, at least the snow falling from the sky will be gone. Whatever's left on the ground will still be there. But a sunny day for your Valentine's Day, dry and pleasant. Temperatures in the mid and upper 40s, and Friday even milder, getting up to near 50 degrees under partly sunny skies. Very quickly, a view from above shows that the precipitation is edging toward us. Again, it'll be with us this evening, and then it'll be out of here after midnight. We'll have your full hyperlocal forecast a bit later in the news.
All right, Joe, thanks very much.
Still ahead on News 12, President Obama lays out his plan. We'll tell you what the State of the Union address means for the building of a new Tappan Zee Bridge.
Plus, police are investigating after parts of the new Lord and Taylor at Ridge Hill are trashed by 3 armed men. Well, fresh off his State of the Union address, President Obama was in North Carolina today to rally support for some of the goals he outlined. The president pushed a progressive agenda. The emotional epicenter of that speech really involved gun control, but he spent most of the time focusing on the economy and creating new jobs. Yet, as News 12's Tara Rosenblum shows us, it wasn't jobs but pay that seemed to get the most reaction from viewers. Tara.
And you got it, Scott. Plenty of people are sounding off now about the president's plan to raise the minimum wage to $9 an hour. While some support the proposal, others fear it will bankrupt small businesses. Somewhat surprising, this was the focus, given all the polarizing issues the president addressed.
Together, we have cleared away the rubble of crisis.
The president began his 4th State of the Union address with an optimistic tone, but admitted economic recovery is an unfinished task.
Nothing I'm proposing tonight should increase our deficit by a single dime.
As President Obama addressed the nation responded online, lighting up the Twitterverse with nearly 24,000 tweets per minute.
Thank you.
The most tweeted moment was also the most talked about here in the Hudson Valley.
Let's declare that in the wealthiest nation on earth, no one who works full-time should have to live in poverty.
The president's plan is to raise the federal minimum wage to $9 an hour.
There's a lot of people out there without jobs, and he wants to raise the minimum wage and get people back in the workforce, so I'm all for that too.
By the end of next year, our war in Afghanistan will be over.
On foreign policy, the commander-in-chief announced a major troop withdrawal from Afghanistan. And on gun control, the president was clear he wants action in light of the Connecticut school tragedy.
It has been 2 months since Newtown. I know this is not the first time this country has debated how to reduce gun violence. But this time is different.
And like Congress, his remarks drew mixed reaction here at home.
I think we are going to need some gun control because guns are just out of hand at this point.
Eventually they want to take everything, all firearms away from people. That's their final goal.
Now, the president also made a passionate plea for immigration reform. Mr. Obama wants legislation that would create a pathway to citizenship for the estimated 11 million immigrants living in the United States illegally. If you'd like to weigh in on any of these issues, you can reach me on Twitter at Tara Rosenblum 12. Janine.
All right, Tara, thank you. Well, in his State of the Union address, President Obama proposed a program that would put people back to work to repair the nation's 70,000 crumbling bridges across the country. And we happen to have one of those bridges, as you probably already know, right in our own backyard. News 12's Ty Milburn has more on what this all could mean for a new Tappan Zee Bridge.
I don't think they should build a new bridge.
Nyack homeowner Regina Malizia says if she had her way, not a dime of her tax dollars would go towards building a new Tappan Zee Bridge. But like it or not, she says she has no choice but to accept that a new bridge is a foregone conclusion.
Looks like they're pushing all the buttons. I guess it's a priority of theirs.
State officials are still waiting on the federal government to approve a $2 billion loan that would help cover part of the cost of building a new bridge. But officials believe they got a big sign of encouragement from President Obama on Tuesday night during his State of the Union address.
Tonight, I propose a Fix It First program to put people to work as soon as possible on our most urgent repairs, like the nearly 70,000 structurally deficient bridges across the country.
This project is definitely moving forward. We have the full support of the Obama administration, the governor's administration, and most residents in the area.
Brian Conybeare, the governor's spokesman on the bridge project, says the governor and his staff have been working around the clock to get this project ready. He insists while they are waiting on federal funds for the bridge project, they don't need it to start work on the river.
The Thruway Authority has already borrowed $500 million to fund startup costs for the project, and we are going to break ground in the near future.
State officials say work could begin on the new bridge as early as next month. They believe that they are so far along in the process, it is too late to turn back. We're in Nyack, Ty Milburn, News 12.
Thank you, Ty. Well, the president's address last night has a lot of people talking on our Facebook pages. Ron Z says, quote, "It's not his fault that New York, led by Cuomo, cannot get the new Tappan Zee Bridge in order. Let's face it, big business runs this country and always will." And Maxine D says, quote, "Even if half of what he says he wants is accomplished is true, he can never get anywhere because the Republicans are playing a game."
Well, Christians here at home and really around the world marking Ash Wednesday, but the start of Lent really begins with a sense of uncertainty for leadership in the Catholic Church. Yonkers police are now investigating after 3 armed men broke into the new Lord & Taylor store at Ridge Hill. But new tonight, investigators tell us it doesn't look like anything was actually stolen. News 12's Tim Cassidy is outside the Ridge Hill Shopping Center off Tuckahoe Road with the latest. Tim, very unusual.
It certainly is, Scott. It's a pretty bizarre case considering those 3 armed men went into the store and they didn't even end up taking a thing. They did, however, leave a trail of destruction behind inside the Lord & Taylor store, smashing through some jewelry display cases and even beating up one employee. It happened before dawn, before Ridge Hill even opened. The cleaning staff and some employees were inside Lord & Taylor preparing for the day when 3 men wearing all black with white masks carrying shotguns got inside Wednesday morning at about 6:15. According to Yonkers PD, the trio beat up an employee and smashed open several jewelry display cases. They took off as fast as they got in, leaving Yonkers police trying to figure out what happened and why, because the would-be armed robbers didn't take a thing.
I'm surprised about. I never heard this is a new place. I'm sorry to hear that.
The whole incident comes as quite a shock to those living nearby the new outdoor mall.
I'm very surprised. I mean, that's a great place, and they have plenty of security.
Lord & Taylor only opened here last April. Ridge Hill spokesperson Laura Dolan sent us a statement saying in part, quote, "The safety and security of employees and customers is a top priority at Ridge Hill. Our highly skilled security team has been working closely with police on the investigation," end quote. The employee who was beaten up is expected to be okay and was already released from the hospital. This as Yonkers police search for the thugs who are believed to have taken off in a car park nearby. Everyone now hoping that trio is caught.
You do the crime, you pay the price. That's the way it should be.
Hopefully Yonkers PD catches up with them.
Yeah, they better do that.
Now, Yonkers police tell us they are following up on leads and checking out surveillance video to see if they can catch up with these 3 armed men. In the meantime, Ridge Hill opened up on time and all the stores are open tonight. We're in Yonkers. Tim Cassidy, News 12. Back to you.
All right, Tim, thanks very much. And folks, this just into the newsroom. A Mount Vernon police officer has been busted for allegedly cheating the city officially for 4 hours of overtime pay. Prosecutors say Officer Joseph Russo claimed he worked 2 hours of traffic duty September 17th and 18th of last year. Russo allegedly earned $226 in falsified overtime. He's been suspended from his job pending the outcome of that case.
Meteorologist Joe Rayo here with Hyperlocal Forecast. And yes, you've been hearing it. We're in for a little more snow, little being the operative word here.
Winter
right,
weather advisories are now up for central New Jersey and Long Island for maybe up to 4 inches. But for us,
little.
For us,
keep it little.
We're not in any advisory zone. We're looking for, just as Janine mentioned, just a little snow. In fact, if you log on to my Facebook page right now, you can see where all the advisories are. Just put the map up there for all to see. Temperatures as of early evening, mostly in the mid-30s. In fact, when the first band of precipitation arrives, it may actually be in the form of some light rain. Eventually the air will cool down for snow. It looks like this activity has already reached the Hudson Valley on this loop, but a lot of what you see here not reaching the ground just yet. However, low pressure along the mid-Atlantic coast will scoot rapidly north and east and brush our area with some light snow, mostly before midnight. In fact, look at Futurecast. According to this computer model, this is about as close as the snow is going to come, right about New York City and Nassau County, leaving us pretty much in the clear. But there are other models that say, yeah, we're going to get some snow, but not a whole heck of a lot. And by the time we get to tomorrow, going to turn out to be beautiful. Here's the snowfall amount, at least from my perspective. Look for a coating to an inch for the Hudson Valley. If you drop south and go east, you might pick up an inch or two in parts of New York City and across Long Island, where out toward the Twin Forks, there may be a few isolated spots of 3 or 4 inches on top of the 35 that they received over this past weekend. The storm takes its leave tomorrow. Beautiful day, bright sunshine, temperatures in the 40s. Cold air is building up, and we'll be heading our way in time for your President's Day holiday weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So snow tonight, diminishing and ending after midnight, a coating to an inch. That's about it. Temperatures will be mostly in the 20s throughout the overnight hours. Tomorrow, it is Valentine's Day, and it looks like a sweetheart of a day. Sunny and mild, 48 Yonkers, 45 Thornwood, 44 Mahopac, 46 in Katona. Let's check out the extended forecast quickly, and you'll see on the Outlook, we've got a nice day for Thursday, partly sunny on Friday. It gets colder over the weekend, rather windy too on Sunday, but right now, any rumors about a big storm over this upcoming weekend? Looks like it may be going by the board, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. More News 12 coming up. Stay with us.
Ash Wednesday is being celebrated across the world today and right here in the Hudson Valley. The faithful came out to local houses of worship like the Holy Family Church in New Rochelle to receive the symbolic ashes on their foreheads. The day marks the beginning of Lent, the holiest season on the Christian calendar.
For the church, it means a new beginning, starting all over again, admitting that we need God's help.
It means the beginning of Lent, so we should repent, pray, and like you said, do for others.
The season of Lent lasts until Easter Sunday, which falls early this year on March 31st.
All right, Walt Fowler here with sports.
Talking about March 31st, next day, April 1st, Yankees
Yay!
season opener.
Baseball's coming back. Love it, love it,
Gonna be
love
here
it.
soon enough, gang. Yankees closer Mariano Rivera says he knows whether this will be his final season, but he's not telling anyone, at least not yet. Rivera plans to announce his decision before opening day. Rivera missed most of last season after he tore his ACL in his right knee while shagging flies during batting practice in Kansas City in early May. Rivera is 43. He expects to be ready for the regular season. The Yankees open at home this season, April 1st, against the rival Red Sox. Rivera's 608 career saves is the most in Major League history. NBA, both the Knicks and Nets are home tonight for their last games before the All-Star break. The Knicks play the Toronto Raptors. The Nets take on the Denver Nuggets. With football long over and baseball yet to start, I asked on my Facebook page, which winter sport do you prefer, basketball or hockey? Antoinette R. says, neither, waiting for baseball season to start. Joe C. chimes in, hockey is my favorite over basketball. I have been a Ranger fan since the days of Gump Worsley, Harry Howell, and Andy Bathgate. And Nicole S. says, I'm still waiting for the Daytona 500, but hockey will do until then. Log in right now to my page and tell me your favorite winter sport. With the MSG Varsity High School Sports Report, there were plenty of primetime wrestling performances at the Section 1 Division I Championships at Pace University. In the 113-pound division, Mark Grant of Hendrick Hudson in the white singlet picks up 4 late points. Grant upends Derek DeMarcisco of North Rockland 7-5. Give that lad a hug. Job well done. How about in the 126-pound division? Dylan Riabuto of Somers in the gray singlet. He takes all of 58 seconds to pin Alex Oliveto of Suffern, his second section title. And in the 152-pound division, Joe Mastro of Yorktown in the green and white singlet defeats Desmond Jekovic 15-0. Mastro, one of 3 Yorktown wrestlers to win a section crown. Hockey, Rye fans with photos of their favorite players. The Garnets home in Larchmont against Pelham. Pick it up in the first period. Rye's Cal Heinzen steals the puck. Heinzen glides in on the breakaway and scores. 1-0 Garnets. Late in the game, Rye goalie Aiden Talgo stands tall, denying the Pelicans time and time again. Talgo 20 saves. Rye edges Pelham 3-2. The Garnets head into the playoffs 15-4-1. NHL, Rangers, Islanders, and Devils all have the night off. And Scott and Janine, I think we saw there at Larchmont last night, rabid hockey fans. Doesn't have to be the NHL to be loyal hockey fans.
Oh, absolutely. Great game.
All right,
Great
thanks
game.
very much, Walt.
Joe, you're taking one more look.
Valhalla, you've got a sweetheart of a day tomorrow. 44, lots of sunshine, a very, very nice one.
We'll take it. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take a moment here to welcome Scott McGee to our News 12 family. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. An award-winning journalist. Scott has worked in TV markets across the country. We're thrilled that he and his family are moving to Westchester to join us. Great to have you here.
It's so great to be in New York. You know,
love
I've
it.
never even dreamed about working here, and now I'm very excited about
Well, now you hear him. We're not letting him go.
That's right.
All right, stay with us, everybody. We're coming right back. Lots more News 12.
it. Thanks.